This is 4.1 by me, Andrick. So here's a little intro to the game. Pretty much, I just based this off a VR game called Duck Season, which is basically you play as this young man of a single mother, and your dad is missing, and you buy this game, a VR game called Duck Season. Basically, you get very addicted to it throughout the summer, and that's pretty much the premise of the game. Here's my social contract. Basically, just rules I set for myself. Stuff like stay on task, golden rule, stuff like that. I have my email link and my slides link right there. Here's my define the problem. So here's where I put my proposal. Basically, my proposal was saying that I will make a 3D functional game based off the game Duck Season, which is a VR game, and put that as basically a desktop game where you'll be able to basically do similar stuff, but switched it up so it's my own game. Here's why I thought this was challenging enough for an end-of-year project, and here are my chosen evaluators. Here's the generate concept. So this is just stuff that I would need to be successful. This is my planning. So this stuff like tutorials, flowchart design, AI, and physical artifacts, stuff like that. So it wouldn't let me upload my artifacts, but I can show you right now. Here is my map of which I thought the game would take place in. You can see it right there. It's kind of like two floating islands. And here is my artifact. It's just a little dog bone, which I 3D printed. Here's develop solution. We have our flowchart, our pseudocode, and our Gantt chart. So first we're gonna have the flowchart storyline. So here we start off with the introduction. So first it's gonna ask you if you want to skip the intro or not. If you say yes, then it's gonna have you skip right to the choose difficulty, and then after that you're gonna choose either easy, medium, or hard, which is gonna pick the flight speed of the ducks in the mini games. Then it's going to ask you if you're a returning player, and if you are, it's going to upload your save file. Then we have our first AIs. So this one is supposed to say Sarah. I just forgot to correct it. I mean, this one is supposed to say dog, sorry. This one says Sarah. But it's basically the same for the two AIs. It says giving you a dialogue, asking you if you want to play a game. If you win it, it's going to give you another dialogue, and then you can improve it in the game. This one, once you complete Greg and Sarah's quest, it's going to open trees to the dog AI. And then here you have the gatekeeper, Greg, and the dog. Or the final boss, not the dog, sorry. So Greg is pretty much the same as the dog and Sarah. The gatekeeper is going to ask you if you talk to all three AIs on the first island. Then it's going to give you a game to play. Once you beat it, it's going to open some gates to the second island where you have your final boss, where you're going to play a final game. It's the hardest game. And then if you win it or not, it's going to give you your proper ending. Here are the endings. So if you win, it's going to ask you if you got all your, it's going to ask if you got all your artifacts. If you did get all your artifacts, then it's going to give you your proper ending. If not, it's just going to give you a normal winning ending. And if you die, it will also give you a different ending. So here's the code flow chart. It's very laggy, so you can't really see it. But it's pretty much the same thing as the storyline, except this is for me to see so I can kind of compare it to my actual code. It's basically what I think the code will look like when I start coding the game. There are the AIs and the endings. So our pseudocode is pretty much just going to be what the flowchart says, but in a text-based form. So here we have our intro, just asking if you want to skip the game or not, ask which difficulty you want to choose, and then it's going to set the flight speed for which one you choose. Then it's going to ask you if you're a returning player. Here's just all the AI stuff, more AI stuff, and some ending stuff. Finally, we have our Gantt chart. So this is just me mapping out what I did on each day. Here you can see for find the problem, I did the ideas on March 20th, 21st, so on and so forth. You can kind of just go through and see what I did. Some of it is off the screen, so we'll just pull that up. Here you you can see that construct and test took me probably the longest out of all the stuff. And then down here you can see evaluations and present. So create and test, so this is me making the actual game. This is what I took from an AI. I was just asking it what it thought the introduction should look like. Here's the actual introduction. It's pretty much just a text and then a button that lets you continue on with the game. So this is me talking about how I use the AI. So basically I just took the ideas of what the AI had and I put that into my game. My game isn't text-based, so I couldn't really use the AI to give me an actual code for it. I just had to take an idea from the AI. One way I would improve this is I would make it more like action, like live action kind of an intro, instead of just a text, but I didn't have the time to do that. Here's one of the comments from my code. So the comment is just me explaining what the code does. So basically what this code does is when you click when it receives the start game function, it's gonna end all the other script of code on that screen, and then it's gonna hide all the items on that screen. Here's the functions, the variables, and the operators. So define functions is basically just defining what actions are. So what is hard mode, what is easy mode, what is medium mode, what does it mean when no button is clicked, what does it mean when when yes intro is clicked and when no intro is clicked. Variables, these are the buttons. So the functions are like actions and the variables are things. So it's the click button, the hard mode button, the easy mode button, the medium mode button, all of that. Operators, these are things that just include numbers. So you have wait 3 seconds, wait 2 seconds, and wait 1 second. And booleans are yes or no questions. This isn't necessarily a question, but basically it's one sprite clicked and hard mode broadcast. So basically it's asking if the sprite is clicked or not, and if it is clicked, it's going to process hard mode, easy mode, medium mode, so on and so forth. I didn't have any conditionals in the first part of my code, so I just put in some loops, and you can see them here. Here's my debug chart. Starting screen, all the code for that was just a click button, and when you click the button it hid all the stuff on that screen. It did exactly what it was supposed to. Introduction, same thing, and it worked perfectly fine. Difficulty level, when you clicked it, it was supposed to hide all the stuff on that screen and then set the flight speed to whatever you clicked. I didn't get to the mini game part of the code, so it doesn't really do anything right now. So I guess it works, but it doesn't. Here are my evaluations. And now we move on to iteration 2. So this is some updated part of my code. This code is for the player hitbox. So basically, this is yourself as a player. It allows you to move around. It allows the player to run into an object and not just pass through it. That's basically what all this code does. Here's the code for the raycasting. So what this does is it takes a 2D map that I created for the game, and then it will broadcast it into walls and stuff. And then this is just explaining what I just explained. Here's the 2D map I made for the game. Here's a comment in one of my codes. This is the player trick. So basically what this does is it allows the player to move around 360 degrees. It lets you move forward, backwards, left, right, all that type of stuff. Okay, here's my variables, functions, operators, and booleans. So here for the variables, you can see it's defining what different things are. It's defining what distance, DIR, camera DIR, and DVR, stuff like that. Functions, these are actual it's defining what those processes are. So it's defining what the ray casting is. It's defining what that action is. It's defining what player trick is, single ray is finding all that. Used operators, so again, these are numbers, wait 2 seconds, set FOV as 60, set res as 8, all that type of stuff. The booleans, yes or no question. So point in direction, camera dir plus a tan of x divided by dv. Basically, it's asking, is the camera dir plus a tan of x divided by dv? If it is, then it's going to point in that direction. Here's one of the conditionals in my game. I think these are the only 2 conditionals in the game. So basically, conditionals are if, then statements, and scratch. So here you can see if key left arrow pressed or key A pressed is gonna turn you to counterclockwise, stuff like that. All of these are conditionals, and then here we have conditional saying if touch level 0, then change X by this, change Y by that. All that stuff. Here's my debug chart. So first we have the player. All that was supposed to do is let player move and view 360 degrees, let you move left, right, all that type of stuff. And whenever you hit a wall, you don't just pass through it, you actually hit it. It did exactly that. The map was just a 2D version of the map that the Raycaster will project. It did exactly that. And the Raycaster was supposed to project the 2D map into a 3D version. It did that, but it was very laggy. I don't know if it was what I was operating on or what, but it was very laggy and I could not fix it. Here's my evaluations. Now we have iteration 3. So here is some part of my code. This is for the introduction. Moving on, this is for setting which difficulty you want. And this is for the player and the raycasting. So here's some of the code I updated. Basically, the raycasting would just not work. Instead of it being a wall, it would just be a straight line, dotted line. And it also wouldn't let you move. Like, I could get the raycaster to work, but then it wouldn't let you move. So I just changed it up so that it would move. All I did was I deleted some of the code I updated, and then I added some stuff back. So it was basically just swapping so that it didn't look exactly how it did. Most of the stuff still looks exactly as it did, but it's a little bit different. Here's one of the comments in my code. This is just saying that the single raycaster raycasts the system of a 2D map into a 3D view. This is what creates all the walls and stuff. Here's the variables, the functions, and all that. Don't pay attention to these two. These are supposed to be swapped, but it's literally the exact same as iteration 2 because I did not add a lot to my game. Most of my iteration 3 was just corrections to my game because I had a lot of bugs during this time. So remember, switch these two. These are the functions. These are the variables. Here's the conditionals. Here's my debug chart. Intro worked exactly as it did. I already explained my intro, so I'm not going to explain it again. Difficulty level, it set the difficulty. Well, it didn't set the difficulty level because I didn't get to the mini games. But I mean, it lets you move on in the game, so it worked. But the actual function I needed it to do, I didn't get to that part, so it doesn't really work. The raycasting, it allows the player to move around. It allows the player to see all the walls and stuff, but it's very laggy. And like I said, I could not fix that lag. And like I said, it wouldn't let you move, but I fixed that by kind of restarting the code. Here's my evaluations, just waiting for your evaluations on this final project. Here's how I graded myself. And thank you for watching.